Welcome back, part 2 of toolboxes. Now we're going to talk about toolboxes that you might need if you're a homeowner. There's a little bit broader needs that you have as a homeowner because you're responsible for maintaining that home and doing remodeling projects and DIY. So John's going to get us started with some tools, some basic tools that you need for your home.
Yeah, again, we're just talking about basic items that you're going to need, tools for some basic, again, do-it-yourself project. But it's going to, that's a little bit more than you need when you're just living in an apartment and just hanging pictures. Probably the first thing I would say is a cordless drill.
Absolutely.
You got to have that, whether you're drilling holes. You can also use it as a drill driver. These things are awesome. Yes, we still have corded drills, but these things, charge them up, obviously, they'll hold the charge, whether you're working on a fence outside, working at something in an attic. These things are priceless.
When they first came out years ago, there was some questions about the batteries, but they've perfected the batteries now.
Yeah.
This battery here lasts a long time. All these come with chargers, so
and usually a couple batteries.
This is the way to go. Let me tell you.
Along the same lines, sometimes you've heard them called skill saws. They're circular saws. There's a lot of different brands. These things are great. Whether you go cordless or corded, you're cutting lumber, any type of project. I don't know how many. Every time I get a project going, I'm using a circular saw. I think that's going to be a little bit more of an investment, but that's something that's going to pay off. You don't want to go back to like our dads doing hand saws and things like that. This type of thing is something you're going to want. Again, talking about lumber, and maybe you're doing some little projects, whether it's building a deck or just, maybe you're just building, a swing set or something around the house. Even just a simple square like this, that'll help you so much. These things are very inexpensive. Again, working with lumber, any type of thing that you're going to want to measure or make sure that you've got a good corner, something like that. This is good. We go into some other things like some clamps here. You're putting something together, just holding something. Maybe you're repairing something. There's a lot of different kind of clamps like this. Having a couple of these around has saved me in just fixing things. Something as simple as a little pry bar, crowbar.
I'll tell you.
I mean, these things are inexpensive, but there's different types. There's different ones that you can get, but for maybe you're tearing an old fence out or you're tearing some lumber down or whatever. These things are awesome. Again, a good hammer. We talked about that. You may want to look at something like a framing hammer, but a good hammer will last a lifetime.
One thing that I absolutely love are these drill bit sets. It basically has pretty much every drill bit size that a normal homeowner would use. And the best time to buy these, I tell you, is during the holidays. Mm-hmm. Lowe's, Home Depot, and Ace will have all their brands on sale during the holidays. It's a great time to buy these, but recommend you getting one of these because it's a great place to keep them. Everything's neat. Just throw it right in your toolbox. You don't have to worry about it. Highly recommend these drill sets.
We talked a little bit about hammers, even mallets, something like a rubber mallet. This is a small one. We've got some other bigger ones, but just doing something where you don't want to use a metal hammer on it and you're just tapping maybe a wood dowel or something that you don't want to damage some wood furniture. Things like that are great.
This is a great tool for all those IKEA furniture pieces that you bring home that have 1,700 parts to it. This is a great thing to use, as well as this cordless screwdriver right here.
Speaking of IKEA, another good option to have is these hex keys or Allen wrenches, we call them. There's you can get them in sets. They have bigger ones. Now a lot of furniture now I know that you get, whether it's IKEA or not, they'll include an Allen wrench with it.
Right.
So obviously you can keep those, maybe use them in a different project, but something like those different sets you can get, those are handy to have if you're putting together furniture. Guys, even something as simple as this wire brush, you're just trying to scrub maybe some rust off something that you're working on, you want to paint it, maybe it's an outdoor piece of furniture or anything like that. Having something like this is great. What else we got, Bob?
This is something I, again, absolutely love, and I use these all the time. These are miniature screwdrivers. They come in a nice case. Ace Hardware has them. A lot of the normal hardware stores will carry these and get them online as too. In fact, you can get a lot of this stuff online. But this is great because it has miniature sized screwdrivers for those small projects that you might have, and they're great because you can just fold it up and put it away, and you know where they are at all times. And then, obviously, I think a good set of gloves is important that you have.
Definitely.
You might even have a different couple pair. This is more working gloves. They're lighter, but if you're doing outside work, you might want to get a pair of leather gloves as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Bob's got one of these too. This is a flashlight, but he was telling me, and I don't have one, but it's magnetic, correct?
Right.
So if you're working on a project, you're down in your basement, you're up in the attic, somewhere, as long as you can attach that to something metal, again, it's hands-free. So you're not having to hold the flashlight, you're not having to worry about having someone there with you if you're trying to work on something. Again, let's see, you even got safety glasses. Pull those out. You know, we used to laugh about those things, but you know what? This is another dad advice thing.
That's right.
I'm not kidding you. I've been working under a car even, working on things, and I've got stuff falling in my eyes.
Gotta have them.
Something as simple as a pair of safety glasses. It'll just keep the dust and the grime and dirt out of your eyes. Save you a trip to the eye doctor too.
One thing that I also like is, because space is always a question, it's always a problem, is having all your screws and nuts and bolts organized instead of throwing them in a can or putting them in separate containers. These kind of boxes, again, are available at Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, and they're great because they're easy to you can carry them around to wherever you're working in the home. You have everything you need right here. You're not making trips back and forth to your garage or your shop or wherever. It just saves a lot of time. So I recommend you invest in some of these as well.
Yeah, and kind of back in the day, we all had those little Gerber baby food jars, and we put them in there.
Right.
But this is so much easier.
Right.
There's a lot of little things like that, and again, if you go to a local hardware store, you can find all these things. You'll find things that you'll know that you'll use. It's just really when you start working on projects, you'll find out it's a little bit easier. Makes the job a little easier having the right tool.
Right. Last piece of advice on this. Whenever you do a project, I guarantee you probably will go to the hardware store at least once. We've had
Maybe 2 or 3 times.
We've had professionals in our home do remodeling work for us, and they get on the job for 5 minutes and they're off at the hardware store. My wife thinks it's crazy. She doesn't understand why you don't have all the tools you need. But the thing about working on DIY projects or home improvement is you never know what you're getting into until you open it up and see what it is. You may not have the right tools. So don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid to go to the hardware store to get the right tools.
That's right. And you know, a lot of those guys, they enjoy helping other people. As a matter of fact, I've been in some of the stores where you're shopping and you kind of start talking with another customer and you kind of figure things out. Obviously, the internet's a great place, but there's nothing wrong with asking someone, maybe a neighbor, someone else, a friend, how did they do this? What tool did they use?